Today we're going to be weighing the difference between hourly and salary paychecks. Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Today we're going to be weighing the difference between hourly and salaried paychecks in the clinical research industry. A lot of you guys know, I've talked about this before, that there are both pros and cons to the hourly and salaried paycheck. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know about the resume review program we've got going on right now. If you are having a hard time getting into clinical research, or you're having a hard time leveling up in clinical research, maybe you're a coordinator trying to be a CRA, maybe you're a clinical trial assistant trying to be a coordinator, or trying to make your way into a big pharma company, we can help. We can upgrade your resume. We can stuff it with whatever keywords it is needed. We can help bring that experience out of your resume and really tease your strengths and your weaknesses from your resume and highlight that. A lot of people have been having a lot of success with this because one of the things that we do really well is we talk about leveraging your strengths in your interview and incorporate that into your resume. So if you guys are interested, email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com for more information. Now, in order to get that paycheck, you've got to be able to get into the clinical research field. And we've talked about the resume review program in the past. That's a great way for that. But back to the hourly versus salaried paycheck. The hourly paycheck is something that I'm a fan of. And that's because in clinical research, things can get really busy and you can end up working more than 40 hours a week, which is what is going to be on your contract probably. 40 hours a week. You can end up working way more than that. Let's say you're in database lock, or there's really, really busy times. The sponsor is coming down with huge demand and expectations, and the only way to meet that is to put in more hours. Well, if you're on an hourly paycheck, you're going to be able to get paid for those hours. And I feel like that's really a big benefit. But there's also some other benefits with the hourly paycheck too. In clinical research, there's something called an FTE, which signifies full-time employment. So 1 FTE is full-time. 0.5 is going to be half-time. So a lot of times they split you up on different studies. So you could be a 0.5 on this study, a 0.5 on another study, or a 0.25 or a 0.3. I mean, they go to all different numbers when it comes to that. So one way that the employee has leverage over the situation and can kind of control it is by the number of hours that they're billing. And if you are on salary, you are not in control of those hours, because even though you're going to be filling out your timesheet and that money's going to be billed to the client, a lot of that money's not, actually none of the money over the 40 hours a week is going to be in your pocket. But let's say, you're only supposed to be a 0.5 on a study, but you're putting in 0.8 worth of work. Well, they're going to see that and they're going to realize that their budget is going faster because you're being paid hourly. Their budget is going faster than they originally planned. And they're going to say, okay, hold up. We got to give this person less work because, our budget is going faster than it's supposed to be. So I feel like in the hourly situation, you've got a lot more control over the situation because you're being paid hourly. And then in a salary situation, you're going to get paid your 40 hours. Then anything over that, let's say you work 60 hours a week, that 20 hours is going into the company's pocket. You're not going to see that money. So even though you worked it, the company is profiting off of those extra hours. So I'm a big fan of the hourly because you have control. But the other thing is, if you work less than 40 hours, then obviously you're going to get paid less than 40 hours. With the salary, you're going to make the same amount no matter what. So whether you work less or whether you work more, you're going to get paid the same amount. And, that can sometimes work to your benefit, but I can guarantee you there are rarely times or there's rarely not enough work to be done in clinical research. There's always more work to be done, whether it's, just naming documents in the TMF or submitting documents to the TMF or helping out somebody do something. There is rarely opportunities where there is no work, where you're just sitting around twiddling your thumbs. So that's another reason why I think the hourly option is better, because you're always going to be able to get 40 hours or more work per week. But you've got a lot more control over the situation when you're working hourly, because they're getting billed for that, and that's going in your pocket if you're working those hours. So I'm a big fan of the hourly paycheck. But a lot of people like salary. And I think one of the reasons why people like salary is, like I mentioned earlier, if you do work less than 40 hours, and it can happen from time to time given the right circumstances, but if you do work less than 40, you're going to get paid the same amount. And if you work more than 40, you're also going to get paid the same amount. But where hourly really shines is when you're in a situation where you're going to investigator meetings or where you're traveling a lot for work. And this really depends on the position. Maybe you're going to investigator meeting. Maybe you're going to some type of kickoff meeting for a study or something like that. You get to bill all of that time. And if you're getting paid hourly, well, guess what? That money's going in your pocket. So that doesn't matter if you're traveling on the weekends, which some people have to do, traveling during the week, traveling late at night, you're getting paid. And that's an awesome feeling. And so imagine that you're getting paid. And then if you go over 40 hours, you're most likely going to get paid overtime too, which is going to be time and a half. So that's a good situation to be in. Now, if you're on salary, you're working 50 hours, you're not necessarily going to get paid for that. And different companies may have different policies and they may have different overtime policies. But man, imagine you traveling all that time, you're billing 80, 70 hours to the client and you're not getting a piece of any of that. So that can be disappointing. So I feel like there are a lot of drawbacks with the salaried paycheck that the hourly can overcome. But a lot of people like salary for the ego. When a lot of people say that they're hourly, a lot of people think, minimum wage, really making like $7, $9, $10 an hour. But I've seen hourly positions all the way up to, $30, $40, $50 an hour. And then obviously contract positions go up even higher than that, $70, $80, $90 an hour. But contract, that's a whole different story. When I'm talking hourly, I'm not necessarily talking contract. Hourly is something that some CROs and probably some sponsors too, and even some sites will pay their employees because everything has to be billed to the client. So the client is paying for everything, which is the sponsor. So that's why you have to fill out a time card every week so that the CRO knows how much to bill to the client. So if you work 4 hours on this study, they know, okay, bill 4 hours. If you work 10 hours on this study, they say, okay, bill 10 hours. So, our hourly's got a lot of benefits that I feel like not a lot of people think about. But salaried has that prestige when people think, okay, I'm finally in a salaried position now. But what really matters when you're making more money in the hourly or the salary, whichever one it is. To me, the thing that matters most is if you're making more money or not. So you guys may have a different opinion. I could be wrong there. So, state your opinion in the comment section if you're listening on YouTube. I'm curious what you guys think about in the hourly versus salary debate. But obviously, though, as you increase in rank in the food chain, you go up project manager, you go up project director, and you're going up VP, whatever, you're going up the food chain, you're more likely to be in salaried positions. They like those to be salaried. Because the higher you go up, the less that's billed to the client. For an instance, VPs aren't billed to the client because those are people that kind of oversee many trials. If they're depending on where they are in the company, if you're like a VP of a department, you're overseeing all of the trials that department's going to see. So you're not necessarily allocated to specific trials, so you can't be billed hourly. You got to be billed salary. That comes out of the pockets of the CRO or whoever you're working for. But also there's going to be more in your compensation package than just that salary. Typically, if you're a VP, you're going to be getting stocks, bonds, some options, and a nice bonus at the end of the year, things like that. But for people that are lower than that, we'll say, project specialist, project coordinator, clinical trial assistant. These positions can often be paid hourly, even though you're in a full-time position, not a contract or an intern. So I know that's a lot that might be weird for people that are new to the clinical research sphere, because typically they may think, oh, you're getting paid hourly, you must be a contractor. And we know that clinical research typically likes to bring people in as contractors first, That's how I got my start in clinical research a long time ago. Bring them in as contractors and then move them over to a salaried position later on. But even though you're in a salaried position, quote unquote, that can still be hourly too. So, that was my first position also. It was salaried, but I got paid hourly. And I think that's one of the best things, because you typically are going to get a decent salary, but it's going to be broken down into hourly increments. And any time you work more than that 40 hours, you're going to get paid overtime on the hourly rate. Or if you're, whatever it is, you have an hourly rate that accompanies that. So, all right, guys, I'm curious what you guys think about hourly versus salary. Which one is better in your opinion? Are there some drawbacks to the hourly I'm not really thinking about? Comment that down below on YouTube if you're listening there. And that's it, guys, for this video. So like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Like us on Facebook also. We got a Facebook page and a Facebook group. So like us over there too. You can just type in Elite Clinical Research. Like us over there. So take care, guys.